Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, home to some of the country's greatest treasures. Here you'll find history, monuments to great Americans, and the seat of government. Many of us have walked the mall, visited the museums, and seen the 4th of July celebrations. But on today's show, I'm going to be showing you something very unique that very few people get to experience. I'm at the Arlington National Cemetery to see my method being used by one of the oldest regiments in the United States Army. I'm Clinton Anderson, and I have a method for training horses. Getting horses to behave is simple. It's training people that's the real trick. Join me as I tackle some of the most challenging situations with problem horses and with problem owners. Well, mate, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, or 0400 hours. It's nice to be able to get to the barn and know that I wasn't the first one here. These guys have been up for hours. They have a tremendous work ethic. They're here today getting these horses ready for a very special ceremony. It's just good to see how dedicated these guys and girls are.
Caisson Platoon is based on tradition and history within the United States Armed Services. It dates back to the Civil War when the Caisson was used to actually transport ammunition back and forth on the battlefield with the 6-horse team. That Caisson then went back on the battlefields and actually picked up the fallen and wounded from the battlefields within the Civil War. Carrying on that tradition, we started the Caisson Platoon back up in 1948 when the Old Guard was reenacted, and since then we have been continuing to carry fallen service members to their final resting place in Arlington National Cemetery. So Nick's got half a green a day.
Good morning, fellas. Sergeant Dean, how are you, mate?
Pretty good, Clinton. How are you doing?
Sergeant Scott, how are you, fellas? Well, good to see everybody here nice and early. I like to get up early as well, so tell me, what are you fellas up to today?
Getting prepared for today's missions. First mission is going to be a Navy and Army full honors,
yes.
And we'll be doing 8 total missions.
Well, listen, I just want to follow you guys around right now. I want to learn what you do with the horses, how you do it, so you guys lead the way and I'll follow.
All right. The soldiers of the Caisson Platoon are very, very hardworking, and some of the hardest working soldiers that I've ever had the opportunity to lead as well. These guys sacrifice a lot of their own personal time coming into this platoon, and they all understand that when they come here, simply because they come in so early and they leave so late. So it's a sacrifice with their families, but it's something that they're dedicated to do to provide that perfection when they actually go out to do those missions in Arlington National Cemetery.
Now, a lot of the guys that are working with these horses, they didn't grow up on a ranch. They're kind of city kids.
That's correct. I'd say only about 5% of the soldiers that we have here, we have 57 currently, have actually had any experience with horses beforehand. So these guys basically start from scratch. The very first time they actually touch a horse or actually been on a horse has been when they came to the Caisson Platoon.
Since I've been here, everybody's hustling. They're moving, they're getting here early. This is the kind of, hard work and ambition that I look for in my academy students.
Oh yes, and that's something that we try to inspire within a platoon itself. This is a privilege to actually come here and do this. You're actually getting paid to learn how to work with horses.
Yeah.
The horses are our #1 tool, and they're our partners. We cannot do it without the horses. Everything that we do is centered around the horses that we use out there. So with that trust and with that relationship that we bond with those horses, it's very, very important to have them to actually perform that tradition of carrying those fallen comrades to their final resting place. We've got a gray team and a black team that goes out every day. Each one of those teams does 4 funerals a day, and we also we push out a reserve caisson as well for the active duty KIAs for folks that have died in action in Afghanistan or Iraq.
How do you get the horses? How do you select them? Where do they come from? Is there some sort of criteria? What's the deal?
We look for something that's going to be very calm out there in the ceremony. We don't want a horse that's going to be all riled up and ready to go. We need those horses to just stay as calm as possible and to do their mission as diligently as the soldiers do. The method is a huge tool that the soldiers are actually able to use to make sure that their horses maintain that ability to go out there and complete the missions that they do on a day-to-day basis. All right, right now the guys are out here hooking the horses up, hooking the teams up. They've got the wheel horses hooked up closest to the caisson first, then the swing, then the lead.
The horses on the right don't get ridden and the ones on the left do.
Yes, traditionally back in Civil War times, the offside horse, that right side horse, was used basically for a pack horse, but for the most part, the positions they're picked out for based on temperament and also based on how well trained that horse is. It's called postilion riding. It's a form of riding. It's a different style of ponying is what it's considered. But they are in charge of that near side horse that they are on and the offside horse that's to their right.
Wheel, ready. Lead, ready. Swing, ready. Caisson, forward, pull.
Check out our latest catalogue from Downunder Horsemanship. It's filled with beautiful imagery and in-depth information on all the products used in this show. Visit our website or call this number and we'll send it to your door free of charge.
The Old Guard as a whole is the ceremonial unit for the Army. There's a whole lot of elements within the Old Guard as a whole that support the nation, both in ceremonies and our fallen comrades in arms.
The discipline in these soldiers is amazing. I've been standing here for over an hour just watching them. And the way that they move, the way that they stand, everything about their job is the ultimate in dedication. These are the kind of people that really inspire me.
For that final honor for that service member, it's a huge pride thing for us to make sure everything is as perfect as possible, to make sure everything is done exactly the same way for every single family so that every family gets the absolute best. The desensitizing of our horses is definitely one of the primary focuses that we have with our horses before they go into the cemetery, and it's a continuing factor that we got to make sure that we stay up on as well. So my squad leaders and I were very fortunate to be able to travel down to Stephenville, Texas to participate in a fundamentals clinic. Well, I've got 56 soldiers and only about 3 of us ever did anything with horses before we came to the platoon. So it's a lot of very green horsemen running around.
You can take any soldier and train him within a few weeks to sit on top of the horse and look pretty and execute the ceremonies. Where the riding experience comes into play is if something goes wrong, if that horse gets spooked, if he has a bad day, that soldier's got to know what to do. One of the reasons we use Clinton Anderson's method is to teach these guys how to handle the horses in those types of situations.
Clinton's method is broken down to keep it simple, to work on building blocks. You start at one stage at the very basics, and the next stage you build on something that was worked on previously. That's going to apply heavily into my program.
Just get it pulled back straight. You don't want her with her head tipped away. Bunch of you guys are all big and stout are kind of giving it this. Really rotate that shoulder.
Oh, You can apply this method to so much stuff if you just could think outside the box a little bit with it. You know, desensitizing just to learn that task and kind of how the horses think.
By doing that, you're kind of giving her pressure and then your release, and then your pressure and then your release.
It's the method, the stick and string, and it kind of starts you off there in the beginner's level, but then you apply that to all the other things that the horse could come in contact with, and I think that's where Caisson will really benefit.
So, if it was me and I was out there, it's like musical chairs. If you stop first, everybody else has to keep moving. Does that make sense?
I hope we take consistency from this so we can spread it across the platoon and every soldier handles each horse the same way, as opposed to having 56 different guys handling horses 56 different ways.
My first couple days in the training class, I got double pumped in the chest by a 2-year-old, so I learned a lot of respect initially, and I knew which ends meant business and where to stand.
If we can adapt his method to the way we handle daily tasks, our platoon can go so much further.
What I hope I'm taking back with me is 4 NCOs plus myself that are solid in the fundamentals and actually be able to effectively work with their horses so that their horses can be better trained and a lot more ready for odd experiences that they could have actually out in their own national cemetery.
Step up your horsemanship with the Clinton Anderson method. Now available in a complete set. Fundamentals starts you on your journey to ultimate control. As you learn to communicate with your horse, earn his trust and respect, and gain control of his body. Intermediate opens the door to ultimate performance as you build on your knowledge to create a safe, willing, and supple partner you control with a feather-light touch. And now, all new, advanced, delivers ultimate inspiration to fine-tune your application of the method and reach the highest level of horsemanship. Clinton Anderson offers you the ultimate collection of his wildly popular training method kits at a packaged price.
Now, Sergeant Dean, you talked about a cold-blooded horse works better for the job.
Oh, they can experience a variety of situations. We have flyovers that happen with Air Force jets and Navy jets that fly over fairly close. We also have the howitzers that shoot off for generals' funerals and a lot of the presidential funerals.
So you're looking for an individual that's obviously more adept to putting up with that, but even cold-blooded horses are going to need training. They're going to need training and they're going to need maintenance. So hopefully I can help you a little bit of that today. It's a great honor that you guys are following the Downunder horsemanship method and it's working for your horses and helping you. Today, what I'd like to try to do is give back to you guys a little bit more and help you some more with some of your horses. Tell me a little bit about this particular horse.
Legitimately, he's a kicker. when we hook him up into the traces and on the wagon.
Is his main issues around the wagon, or they're just in general?
He has a tendency to try and kick other horses, so he's
Okay.
aggressive towards other horses.
Right.
Whenever you walk behind him, you need to be very conscientious.
So he'll want to kick a human being too?
That is correct.
Well, let me have a go of him, and I'll see what I can get done with him. Before I start helping him with the wagon, I've got to get some control of his feet. Every time you change a horse's direction, you mentally get them more submissive. The first exercise I'm going to work with is what we call the sending exercise. See this behavior right here? That's him using that reactive side of his brain. There. Now that was much better, wasn't it? That was one of the first times that he just gave up his union card and walked. Now I feel like we have some sort of rapport. He knows that I can move his feet forwards, backwards, left and right. Now, okay, I'm just gonna say, hey, listen, how about you let me control your feet around the wagon? Yield. See, horses can only think of one thing at a time. So as long as he's thinking about spooking at the cart here, he's obviously not what? Using the thinking side of his brain. There we go, yield. Okay? If I can't get control of my horse's feet around it, I'll never get control of his feet in it. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let him rest here in a second, but I'm only gonna let him rest near this. So what I would do now, I feel like he's kind of relaxed here. I just bring him up and let him rest here a little bit.
I think it made a believer out of everybody here. They saw the horse migrating towards the wagon, and then when you actually just kind of stopped driving him, he walked right over the wagon and chose to rest there.
Oh, I love that. See where he's going? Yeah, that's all right. That's good, let him. The only way to get good is to have your ears bleeding and your ass hurting. Okay, mate, you're gonna work with this horse?
Yes, sir.
What's your last name?
Sergeant Archer. I do not like giving this horse to the new guys. That's dangerous.
He looks kind of spooky and jumpy, is that pretty correct?
Absolutely.
He's like that normally?
Very sensitive, very willing to move on the lightest pressure.
Okay, now see if you can ask him a canter. Just point. Cut him off. Just relax, just relax. Just point. There you go. Bank the ground, just relax, just relax. You gotta be careful. You put too much pressure on a horse like this and it'll get ugly. Point. There you go. Just let him trot now. Now when I say I'm gonna ask you to change directions, what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold your left hand up and hold your come to me finger, okay? So go ahead and step out in front and walk backwards. Now send him off, point. Just relax, just relax. Don't be too aggressive with him because he's already on crack. Try again, step out in front, go back. Cut him off, point. Bank, there, I like that correction. You were just a little bit more mellow. Backwards, backwards, there, good man. Good man, good job. You notice a little change in your horse now? He's starting to relax, isn't he?
After he started thinking and paying attention to me, he was relying on me for the cues and which way to turn, when to turn, how fast to go, so absolutely it's a big change.
Good job, mate. Now catch his eyes and have him follow you. Catch his eye and then walk away. As soon as he looks at you, walk away, walk away. Keep walking, keep spire on, keep walking. Walk a little faster, walk faster, walk faster. Keep spire on, keep spire on, keep spire on. Stop right there and just ignore him. Good job. Now notice how I told him to ignore the horse, look away. The more you ignore a horse, the more they want to be with you. The more you try to make them be with you, the more they want to leave. Women have been doing this to men for millions of years.
The guys were very excited. I think they were a little intimidated at first because they've seen them a lot on the videos, and all of a sudden to have them sitting here talking with them, I just can't imagine anything else that would have gotten the guys any more motivated to go out there and spend time with horses than having Clinton come visit.
Being in the Caisson platoon to me is paying a huge respect and honor to not only our fallen service members, but the families, and being able to give them the respect and show them a ceremony that'll help close the chapter for the family in that soldier or service member's life.
I went on a 15-month tour to Iraq. I re-enlisted to come to the Old Guard. To be able to feel the honor to come to Arlington National Cemetery and bury soldiers. Caisson's the only platoon that actually spends 5 days a week out in Arlington National Cemetery burying soldiers. While you're over in Iraq, you don't really see a whole lot of friendly things, and feeling honor over there is far and in between sometimes. So on good intentions and hopes to be able to feel that honor again, coming to Old Guard was a lot of the reasons why I came here in the first place.
It's something it's almost undescribable. It's the highest honor that we could possibly have in what we do. And when they named this unit the Honor Guard, I mean, that about sums it all up. I mean, we're there for that final honor for that service member, and it's really difficult to kind of explain what that is and an emotional effect for us, but it's a huge pride thing for us, and we strive to make sure that every single one of those is as special as possible for all the family members.
Today I saw some amazing things. The discipline from the soldiers and the horses, the training, the dedication, everything that went into the honourable service they do is just truly amazing. One thing's for sure, the next time you see somebody in the military, please thank them for all the dedication, loyalty and service that they do. It's because of them that basically we get to live in the greatest country in the world. If you'd like more information, mate, on any of the products you've seen on today's show, click on our website at downunderhorsemanship.com and we'll send you a free catalogue, mate.